guys. Had some technical difficulties there. Sorry, the went on a loop, but we're here, ready to roll. Welcome to the JP and Trav Show on JP and Trav Show YouTube channel. As always, it's your host with the most, JP. To my right, I have my esteemed co-host, brother and friend, Travis J. Davison. Travis, how you feeling, man?
Feeling great, man. Feeling great. Although the remote situation is not great in Kansas. They're all giving me the runaround because it's homecoming, and they're like, "Oh, we've got a bunch of alumni in, so we better not, have an OU station there, this, that, and the other." I'm like, "Hey, this is what we better get ready for in the SEC." Is people want making sure they don't make their own fans mad. But other than that, fantastic. Got in a good workout. Got in some good work today. Did the OU Insider pregame, and then all of a sudden, people dropping bombs about the whole team having the flu.
I know.
So we'll see. We'll see. Relax, everybody. Relax.
I hope that's not the case, though. We need to be fully healthy. I'm not sure that I've heard
UCF, man, the biological warfare.
Crazy. They sent them down there to get us sick. So I just heard about one offensive starter, Trav. I'm sure you've heard more. I don't know if you heard anything at all on that, but that's what I had seen. So it's to this point, they one guy was maybe sick, but hopefully it's not the whole team.
Yeah, everybody was like 5 to 7 players or whatever. I'm like, nah, man.
Jeez. A bad bug.
You just pump them full of fluids, man. You got the best, nutrition staff you could ask for.
Yep.
Just pump them full of fluids, man. They'll flush it out.
They'll be all right. All right, guys. Well, welcome back in. We are going to start off, obviously, talking about the OU UCF game, as we have not had a chance to assess that as of yet. OU got the W, 31-29. It was a scare, to say the least. UCF came in there ready to play. Certainly defensively, offensively, they, at first were kind of mulling around, but because our offense, couldn't necessarily get their act together, first couple drives, kept them in the game, and eventually they made some plays and down some plays. You have to remember that they were sitting at, I believe, number 4. I don't know if it was in yards or if it was in scoring offense, what they were. But they're a good offense. Not like they were slouches or anything like that by any stretch of the imagination.
And better with Plumlee.
Yeah, absolutely. So really, I think a lot of people want to chat about, and you guys in the comments, you talk about what you thought about the game too. Just about the running game, I'm sure. Obviously, we'll talk about more of what Kansas does, which is similar to UCF in terms of their offensive scheme. But let's talk about just what you thought in general about the game as you were there. What was going through your mind? What were you concerned about? And then, obviously we got dubbed. So at the end of the day, we won. I'll give us some positive thoughts too.
Yeah, I know I jokingly said, really jokingly send out the tweet each week that never a doubt whenever we win a close one. Mm-hmm. But it's weird. I legitimately sitting there was thinking, man, we know how to win close games now, which we'd only won one real close game anyways up to that point, But for some reason, like, the switch flipped in my mind to be like, we'll just make the plays late. We'll just make the plays late. We'll just make the plays late because we've been good in fourth quarters this year. So, and good down the stretch. And, I think UCF's going to win a lot of games. Not a lot of games. UCF's going to win more games down the stretch, obviously, than they did at the beginning because they haven't won a conference game yet. But Plumlee being back, Ricky Barber being back, we talked about that last week. We talked about, the difference that can make and what it does to a team to know you got your starting quarterback in. That's a big deal. So, we've seen that before, right? Like what does it feel like when, you've got your backup in? It's your defense plays differently, your offensive line blocks differently. Everybody, it's just you just aren't what you are. Now, Kansas this weekend, they're just playing their other starter, is what I would say.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they have a backup. I think they have 2 starters. But regardless, I think UCF played a really good game, and you know, I think the kicking game really sucked the energy out of the building. From what I noticed, it was tough because the defense came out, didn't allow a first down in the first 4 drives. Really, it looked like there was no hangover from Texas, and everybody, the national people, go, oh man, there was this Texas hangover. They came in, I think one of the cover 3 guys, not Bud, but the other guy was like, well, they were, oh no, it was the guy that's on with Staples, was the guy that was like, well, these guys smoking cigars and selling T-shirts, they forgot they had a game. Like, that's not the case. Like,
Yeah, it's not what
the
happened.
defense came out hitting, like playing well.
Yeah.
And anyways, that goes to show you, man, if you don't get points, the defense feels like they don't get paid off. The crowd, all of a sudden, after that second kick was missed, the crowd was so quiet because everybody turns to Twitter, tweeting about the kicker. They're turning to their buddies, asking, well, who's the backup? They're going to the depth chart. They're getting in their program, right? Looking at who the backup is, right?
Yeah.
Well, the whole time, a game's going on. So the defense is out there, and the crowd's hardly into it. It was unfortunate. And honestly, Zach Schmidt has missed 4 out of his last 8. Yes, he needs to get better. He needs to get better quickly. But, man, I heard people that were like, man, we need to get that Mizzou kicker, man, the one that made that game winner. Well, Zach Schmidt has made a higher percentage of his field goals than he has. Oh, man, Brent Auburn, the Texas kicker, man. Man, he kicked with such confidence in the Texas game. We missed one. Yeah, he's missed more than Zach Schmidt has this year. There's just, I don't know, there's this weird thing where fans, and every fan base does this, so I'm not picking on OU fans, but every fan base remembers their own kicker missing kicks, and they think everybody else's is perfect. Maybe, I don't know if they watch too much NFL or something like that, but I think there's like 6 or 7 kickers in the league or in the entire country that are perfect on the year. Something like that. I could be. It's no more than like 10 or 11. It's not a high amount. And people are saying, well, he looks shaky on his extra points. It's like, okay, he's 38 for 38 or something like that. He's got the 3rd most makes of all college kickers among those who haven't missed one yet. On extra points, I should say.
Yeah.
So to State 5 Stinks point, not at the beginning of the year. If you remember, I think in the first 3 games, everybody, we all had people miss kicks. Yeah,
that's true.
But I'm so glad you said that. Not to pick on you at all, State. That's not my intention at all. But that proves my point. He thinks nobody misses field goals against us, where people have missed 3 or 4 field goals against us this year alone.
Yeah.
So, but that's the mentality, right? That's what it feels like. That's why when you watch certain games and your team's struggling, it seems like it's so easy for the other team all the time. It seems like they pick it up, man, why don't we do that? Why don't we do that? But then you win, and you're like, oh, well, I guess it might have been easy for us too. So, it is what it is. I hope he improves. Gavin Marshall wasn't healthy, so we'll see. We'll see. One nice thing is Brent isn't afraid to change specialists midseason, because he went away from Plaster and went to Luke Elzinga, and he was rewarded handsomely for it. Elzinga was fantastic. 6th best punting average in school history and single game history. I mean, if you just took his 51.6 yard average, he would lead the nation in punting average.
Yeah.
I mean, the dude was absolutely nails. 4 downed inside the 20. I know we all missed Turk. I get it. The ball it sounded like a cannon went off whenever it hit his foot. But, man, he kicked a lot of touchbacks. He tried to stop it on the 1 a lot. And it's okay to just kick it to the 10 and see what happens. Kick it to the 15, see what happens. You can't always count it. And Turk never did directional stuff, it felt like. He kicked it in the middle of the field and he tried to stop it on the 1. It's almost like Mighty Ducks. when they're talking about the triple D, is he going to go glove side or stick side? And Bombay says he's fancy. He's going to go glove side. Like that's what Turk was. He was the fancy guy. He's like, I'm gonna show off my leg and I'm gonna stop it here on the one. But then he didn't. So it was frustrating at times. But all that to say, if Gavin Marshall's healthy, who knows? You could make a change. But he could just be in a slump and he might make his next 5. Who knows? He's not missing a bunch of short ones. Everybody thinks that he's just missing a bunch of 30-yarders. I'd have to go back and look at all of them, but they're not short kicks by any means.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, obviously special teams in the kicking game was a huge part of it, but also, as we said earlier, the offense just failed to get going. And a large part of that has been due to this run game that we've chatted about. Now, they finally did open some things up in the fourth quarter. And I put a tweet out, and looking back on it, I probably could have been a little bit more, I was probably too liberal with my statement of saying I believe it's more on the running backs. I think if you look at the tape, it probably is bordering 50-50, but I still believe a large part of it is especially, Marcus Majors not seeing it well, not hitting the right holes. There's the occasion that, the offensive line does not block it up super well, right? And that, when that happens, like I'm sorry, I was thinking about a particular play. I think it was like what 3rd and 2 was it? Were we on the 45, maybe around 45? And their big guy just comes completely unblocked. Like Caleb Schaefer missed it, the right guard that had been starting and is kind of going at that rotation with Savion Byrd. He just missed the guy or miscommunicated, and there's just their defensive tackle right there waiting for Marcus Major. Like there was no chance. And so there are things like that, but more often than not, I felt like I saw just lack of vision from the backs. Gavin had the best, but even I pointed out a play where we did get 8 yards, but I felt as if there was the opportunity for it to be a larger chunk play, as in like a 30, 40, 50-yard type of run, had he not been so tight in his vision. And so that's just something I feel like it's been here or there, and not to steal, Lincoln Riley's thing, but it does just it's little things. It is like truthfully, it is right, just little things that can make the running game not go as well as it could. It may be an offensive line missing an assignment here, a running back missing a hole here. That if they did it right, it could have popped off for a 40, 50-yard run. Then we're talking about a whole different type of game with the rushing attack than when these things just continue to happen. It may not be the same thing over and over again. It may be different things completely. And so the hope is that, Kansas's run defense is about as bad as UCF's was. And so the hope is that we can get going, that Gavin was able to get going later, and that, he'll be able to do well. But Trav, where are you at on the run game, man?
Well, I talked about this a little bit. I forget whether it was on OU Insider or on KREF, but so we ran the ball really well in the second half. All right, Gavin Sawchuk, I believe, if my count is correct, had 61 of his total 63 yards in the second half. Ripped off 8-yard run, 8-yard run, 6-yard run. Marcus Major had 13-yard run, then another 13-yard run. So my question is, either one of two things happened. One, OU saw something against UCF that they could exploit, and they went back to it over and over. Or the other thing is OU figured out what they could do and started executing it better and got better results.
Yeah.
So that's the question is, was that run success a UCF specific thing they saw? Or was it a light bulb came on, Savion Byrd at right tackle or at right guard, Caden Green at left guard, let's do this? Because, what's interesting is if you go back and watch, so Caleb Schaefer God, if he could just,
He's big.
he's so big.
He's huge.
He's so big. So if not a lot of people will watch this because like Dylan kept the ball, but Dylan had a read early, and it was Gavin Sawchuk. They were pulling Schaefer out around, and they had him. He was going to be basically lead blocker on the pull counter with Gavin. They didn't hand it off to Gavin. DG runs up the middle, I think, for like a yard or something like that. Bro, Caleb Schaefer got on his horse, got to the outside, and picked up a corner. Like the corner looked like a little kid that was getting taken out of a birthday party that he didn't want to leave. Like he picks him up and just starts walking him back and then pancakes him. I'm like, oh, if we could just get that consistently. Like he's so big. He looked really good on his feet. And, you hand that off to Gavin, who knows. But now the having Savion out there, what's interesting is Savion, it goes back to what I said on this channel, a year ago after the Nebraska game?
Yeah.
Was that Stafford told me, look, Savion's got the highest ceiling of any offensive lineman on this team. But emotionally, he needs to channel his emotions and attitude into being a leader as opposed to, I think he used the word distraction or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what it is. And I talked to a player after the game about it and said, what's up with Savion, man? Like, how can he come in early in the game and not really be all that effective, and then go in late in the game and just be a complete road grader? And he said, man, all you got to do with Savion is walk up and tell him that, can nobody block you? That defensive lineman said you're soft. Just start talking trash to him, and then it clicks and he goes out and balls out. Yeah. I told the player, I said, will you please do that in warm-ups?
Every game.
I said, please do that in warm-ups. Do not wait until the second half to do that, please. Yeah. So that's the thing. I just hope it's something that you figured out, whether that's personnel, getting a healthy Tawi Walker back. I know Tawi ain't got the flu because he wasn't out there with anybody. Maybe that was the goal.
Yeah.
He's going to rest him to be a bell cow against the Jayhawks with 35 carries or something like that.
What is the weather supposed to be? I know people are
cold and rainy. It was gorgeous in Lawrence today, but the weather's supposed to turn. Let me get to my weather app and I will check for you.
So as Chad was checking that weather, they finished it off. Obviously, the offense turned it on when it needed to. And Trav, once you check that weather, we'll just talk about it. 30?
Saturday's low will be 38 between 6 a.m. and 7 a.m. and the high will be 47 between 2 and 3.
Ooh,
50% chance of rain.
It's that cold?
Yeah. It won't be as bad as West Virginia was. And that's the thing. It won't be as bad as West Virginia was playing on turf, and Dylan Gabriel threw the ball 27 times against West Virginia.
Yeah. Yeah, West Virginia was terrible. I was there in person. I remember. It was bad.
And Eric Gray ran for over 200 yards. So it's like I don't think it's a situation where Dylan's not going to know how to play football all of a sudden because it's dropped below 60 degrees.
All right, Trav. The last thing I want to talk about before we move on to Kansas and some recruiting. I'm getting a lot. Let me make sure I choose my words carefully. I'm getting sick and tired, personally, of some of our fans not understanding the difference between play calls for an offensive coordinator and execution in the game. And because the offense stagnates out or doesn't do what they're supposed to do, now it's the offensive coordinator's fault, who, when you look at the tape, the play calls were just fine and there are things there to be made. the execution just was not there, whether it's in the run game or even if you look at the first drive with especially, Gavin Sawchuk, the back-to-back, he had the on second down, the direct snap that if he catches that, that may be a 20, 30-yard run the way it was blocked up. Missed that. And then even the screen on 3rd and 13 that Dylan threw, if he catches that, he has a chance to get the first down because the wide receivers blocked it up pretty well. But it's just like, how do we look at that and then say, oh, Jeff, like, what are you doing? And this is where I get frustrated. I'm not saying Jeff doesn't have issues that we need to talk about, right? I'm on that wavelength. I am. Let's talk about it. We talked about last year his tempo. We talked about last year, him not abandoning, like the passing game at times and just sticking with the run, which, this year maybe the opposite. Those are things we feel like he's gotten better at this year, right? And so he's actually grown in that. But now fans are frustrated because they feel like he tries to do too much or he gets too cute. And I can hear that. But like, why are we making inflammatory statements like he's not a good coordinator? I don't want him here next year. This, that, and the third. And I'm like, it just doesn't make sense to me, Trav, because like we're number 4 in scoring offense and number 6 in total offense. What else do y'all want? Right? Like, I know it doesn't look, and the running game hasn't even really gotten going. So like, I think I'm confused on why we're wanting to and why there's so much issues with an offensive coordinator who has us there. And when you watch the tape, more often than not, it's about the execution. Even the jet sweeps and stuff that you don't like. A lot of those things, the reason they haven't worked is because of execution, not because it was called at the wrong time necessarily. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think we live in a weird segment of time where some people, you see it on Twitter probably most often.
Yeah.
Where some people would rather be right than about something about OU being bad than to be wrong and OU be good. Like, it's weird. Like, DG's haters. Like, those are the ones that crack me up.
Yeah.
Or the recruiting haters, the Todd Bates recruiting haters. Well, when he misses out on David Stone, I can't wait to come back here and go at all you Sunshine Pump. Like, you can't. Why is there any ounce of you that has any type of just idea that you're looking forward to something? David Stone announces, like, you sound excited, like you sound hopeful that David Stone doesn't announce, so you can have your moment in the sun. Like,
yep.
That's what the weird part is like, people, like, clout is a hell of a drug, man. Clout is a hell of a drug. And I think people want so badly to be right and want so badly to be able to say, I told you so, that they just abandon reality. Like, they abandon that Dylan Gabriel's a Heisman finalist. Like, okay, Rob. But like, there are certain people that are just never going to like Dylan Gabriel. That's fine. He's a Heisman candidate. Get over it. Like, and then Jeff Lebby, same way. But Jeff Lebby has gotten better with time management. And a lot of the things that people need to understand, Lebby and Dylan in the offense, like, they put together the game plan all week. So, like, Dylan checks out of a lot of stuff with the law. Every play. We talk about it every week. Every play is an RPO. He's got a chance to hand it off. He's got a chance to keep it. He's got a chance to throw it. So when people say, man, I can't believe Lebby is running the ball so much, it's not Lebby often. Like, it's Dylan at the line of scrimmage going 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, where are the safeties? Okay, cool. Looks like we can run the ball here. Hands it off or keeps it and runs it himself.
Yeah.
Or, hey, look, oh, they've got this. The safeties are dropped down. I got one-on-ones with Nick and Jaleel, or I got it blocked up over here. I can run something out to the side, and then he'll throw it. Like, the whole reason, look, Jackson Arnold has more God-given talent than Dylan Gabriel, but the reason Dylan Gabriel is starting is because the offense is based on his decision making. Like, so again, the idea of Levy needs to do this or Levy needs to do that, it's Dylan's is actually calling the plays once you get down there or making the reads. So all that to be said, yes, he's a good offensive coordinator. Nick Saban wanted to hire him this past year. He's going to be a head coach somewhere in the country. He's going to be a P5 head coach sooner rather than later. But this is a college football offense, man.
Yeah,
like what Kaysen said. Levy is what it is. He runs a Veer style offense. It is what it is. It's working as we are a top 5 offensive football.
I don't know.
We keep on stacking up quarterbacks. Recruiting's going well.
Yeah.
Like
after losing Lincoln Riley, I just don't know what else you could hope for. I'm just being real.
Riley's a hell of a play caller, but I'll tell you what. It is weird though why they don't run the ball. He ran the ball at Oklahoma so much, and I don't want to get off on a Lincoln tip. That's been done and done and done again.
Yeah.
But it's just Marshawn Lloyd was running the ball at like 7 or 8 yards a clip, and they gave him he had 7 carries. Like he was running at will, and it was like, nope, got to stop doing that. Which is not. He didn't do that at Oklahoma, which was weird to me. Yeah. So it's, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll leave it there. Like I said, it's just, and it's more, and I know there's PSS you're saying in the comments, don't talk to every stupid dumb fan online. Look, I have a policy. I don't chat with people that have like under 600-700 followers for the most part. Like they
not anymore, man. You used to be.
I used to be bad. You can ask Travis.
You could bait. He used to bite on everything.
I did.
You could say anything, and you'd be at your neck on Twitter. I was like, I told him, I was like, man, you gotta get these clowns off my timeline, bro. You got a bunch of 0 follower avatars just baiting you into stuff. But he's gotten better.
I really only go at people that like actually have a decent following and are saying crazy stuff like Jeff Levy's like terrible, like verbatim, like nah, bro, like you have too much following for you to be saying something stupid like that. I'm gonna check you. Like that makes no sense. That's how I feel about it, and I've seen it too much. That's why I was there. But anyways, let's move on. We're gonna talk about Week 8, Kansas versus OU. OU's going up to Lawrence. It's going to be cold, maybe a little rainy. Sooners are coming off, a win versus UCF, as we just said. They run not the exact same offense. Talking to a lot of different people and even just listening to some other pods, and obviously even Gabe and Teddy. Like Kansas's offenses are so multiple. Honestly, you could maybe say it is the offensive version of the Brent Venables defense. Honestly, you could probably say that just with how multiple they are. They throw so many different things at you that you have to be prepared, right? It's the same thing as Brent Venables defense. You have to be prepared for what they're going to throw at you, and it could be so many different things. And so we're going to see a lot of dressing. I don't know what that's going to look like in terms of their running or passing the football because of the weather. Assume they're probably going to run it more, and they have a good rushing offense as well. They got 2 good backs. And let's be real. A lot of people try to talk trash on Jason Bean. Jason Bean is not bad at all. Like you said.
No, that's why I said they don't have a backup. Jason Bean is their other starter.
He could probably be a starter, yeah.
He's been a starter. He started, 20 games?
No, yeah. He can start another Power 5 program. I fully believe that. And he's fast. He makes good throws at times. He can be erratic, but he's plenty capable. So I certainly think we can't overlook Kansas. I know that they're not Kansas of old anymore anyway, so they're not getting overlooked. But yeah, how are we feeling about this one, Trav? What do the Sooners need to do to pull out a W?
I know it sounds simple. It's just stop the run. Oklahoma's been very good at stopping the run. Even when UCF came out, they were very good at stopping the run. Like, I don't think they're gonna be able to do a ton through the air outside of Mason Fairchild. I think you got to have Deshaun McCullough and Kendall Dolby, Jaron Canick, Danny, whoever. Like, Mason Fairchild is that dude. He's 6'4", 260. He's their tight end who went for 6 catches, 106 yards, and 2 touchdowns on us last year. Last week, he had 5 catches for 95 yards and 2 touchdowns against Oklahoma State.
Mm-hmm.
He is on my fantasy football team. So I know I've been following him closely all year. And that dude is a dude. Mason Fairchild, man. If they can't get him going, they can't really do a ton in the passing game. But the way they get him going is they just sneak him up the seam because they get so much going in the run game that eventually you get pulled down.
Yeah.
And here comes 6'4", 260 Mason Fairchild just leaking out the seam and being every time. Hits him every time. So they have one good corner. They're probably their best person in secondary, maybe their best defender, is a guy named Kobe Bryant. Yes. Cobee Bryant. So, yes, Kobe Bryant. He is a junior. He's 6 feet tall. On the year, he's got 2 interceptions as well as a forced fumble that he returned for a touchdown. Physical guy, ball skills. The question is, if he covers one guy, who does he cover?
Yeah.
Does he cover Nick Anderson, who's got 8 touchdowns on 16 catches and a 5-game touchdown streak? Does he cover Jaleel Farouk, that OU will move her all over the place? Does he cover Drake Stoops, who leads the team in receptions and is always picking up big third downs? Like, I want to ask the chat this too, and I want your answer. If you are an opposing defensive coordinator, who would you put your best corner on? Assuming he's not just picking up a half of the field. Like, assuming that he's actually following somebody in man.
I would probably put him on. I'd probably put him on Nick Anderson, honestly. Nick Anderson's been the most explosive receiver we've had this year, just in terms of catches, right? Or like touchdown catches, and he makes huge plays all the time. I think if you're trying to stop us from gashing you, then you do Drake Stoops, in my opinion.
It's an interesting question, right?
Yeah.
Because when's the last time we were going into – this is technically week 9 because we got a bye. So when's the last time we were going to week 9 and we still didn't technically know who our wide receiver 1 was? Yeah. Or that we couldn't really agree on what the definition of wide receiver 1 is, right? Because what is wide receiver 1? So your go-to guy on third downs? Because that's Drake Stoops. Is your guy that is the most explosive, biggest mismatch? Probably Nick Anderson. Farouk, you can put him anywhere on the field. He can go deep, he can get back. Like, just always interesting because we've gotten to the point of the season where we don't know who our best wide receiver is and we don't know who our best running back is.
Yeah.
How crazy is that?
But the wide receiver problem is a better problem than running back. The running back problem is just like, we don't know. The wide receiver problem is, hey, everybody at some point has had their thing, their moments has been pretty dang good. And so that's a good problem to have on wide receiver and running back. And you're like, can we find a guy, please? I mean, shoot.
But that's what's just so funny because like last year you were like Marvin Mims, Eric Gray,
Yeah,
signed, sealed, delivered, no questions about it.
yeah.
This year, I mean, Marcus Major leads the team in rushing yards. Going into last week before Tyree got suspended for a game, he led in every category except for carries.
Yeah.
Now Sawchuk looks so good in the second half that people are like, "Well, it's Sawchuk's backfield." Like, and the whole preseason, we were sitting up here saying Javonte Barnes is going to be the team leader in rushing yards. So I mean, just being all over the place.
Yes, we were. Yeah, I was trying to see if we could look at.
They're talking about tight end use a little bit, and I think it's warranted. But I also think getting a healthy Caden Helms and getting Devon Mitchell in the offense, I think you'll see a little bit different. The thing is, like, Stogner's big, looks like he's lost his step, man.
It does.
He lumbers out there a lot, and he's a good blocker. He runs his route. He clears out a lot of people, so he's still valuable. But when you're looking at like stacking up actual big games, you're not going to see from that. But you get a healthy Caden Helms and you get Devon Mitchell in there, and then you start to look at guys like Nate Roberts, maybe Desan Brame, maybe Lincoln Cure. I mean, you're about to have more elite tight ends, blue chip, high level tight ends than you've had real long time, because Levy wants to use them. It's just that Levy has one tight end right now, and it's a guy who's can't really stretch the field vertically on a seam or anything like that. He just got real big. So I wouldn't judge. I would look at Levy's past offenses and look at how the tight end numbers are, how he uses them, as opposed to this year, because I simply don't think that he has the personnel that he needs.
Sorry, guys, got kicked. I don't know what happened.
I was wondering. I was like, man, you must really want me to make this point about tight ends. You got me on the solo screen.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. My Chrome just shut down, so apologize about that, guys. But no, I was just saying if you look at the rushing stats of Oklahoma, it's interesting. I know we were just talking about tight ends. I was gonna go back to it, but it's interesting that like we only have one guy.
I know Delpo as 83. I know I screwed that up, but Stogner won the game for us. That was the biggest play of the year. Hands team.
Oh yeah,
recovering the onside kick.
Hit off of Farouk's hands and.
Yeah, well, I don't know what Farouk was doing.
I don't know what he was doing either. But yeah, let's get a score prediction too. Guys in the chat, go ahead and throw some up. I know I saw some. Let's go ahead and get one, and we'll go from there.
Trav, turned down 4 dates. Kaysen, man. Score prediction, I've got 42-24. Good guys.
42-24.
And the reason I have 42 is because that doesn't include any field goals. And that's not because I don't think we can make them. That's because I think in this weather, I think with the kicker kind of being in a slump, and with OU being number 7 nationally in 4th down conversion offense at 80%, I think they stretch that a little bit. I think if it's 4th and 5, 4th and 6, you might see them go for it. So yeah. I like it at 42-24. Good guys. What say you?
Yeah, I'm probably gonna say my hope is 48-21.
Are you
That's what
picking OU this week?
say what?
Is that OU 48?
Of course. Who
Okay.
else could it be,
Wait,
Travis?
hey, hey,
Listen,
we got precedent.
it happened one time, you know, and I recanted anyway. So y'all need to stop getting on my head about that and these apple orchards out here because I'm a family man. That's right, Trav. Or I mean, Trap. Only in the JP and Trav show you get those type of next gen stuff. Hey, we do what we can.
Exactly, man.
Um,
Exactly.
yeah, I mean, I agree with you, Trav. I mean, it's gonna have to be, I'm probably gonna say 49 then, because yeah, I don't know that field goals are gonna be a move. And
Well, and if the whole team has the flu, it's going to be 24-20,
man, it could be
20-13. I
it
mean,
could be close. I hope we gotta make it through. Kansas ain't Kansas no more. You know what I mean?
well, how about this?
Their defense isn't great.
I just without looking it up, I just want you to answer quickly. In the last 10 home games, what's Kansas's record?
7-3.
Good. 8-2.
8-2.
Like, that's impressive. For Kansas? Bro, they're 8-2 in their last 10 home games. I think one of those wins is against, or a couple of those wins is against Texas. One of them is.
Yeah.
Well, no, that wouldn't go back far enough. Regardless, that's still crazy. I had to read that 3 times, and they did sell out this game. Although I think OU fans might have had a part in that.
Oh, I'm sure they did. Yeah, they did sell out the game. I mean, it's not the hardest place to play, but it certainly is a.
It's one of those things where I know OU fans, like they posted, "Hey, look, there's a lot of seats open. Let's turn it crimson." And then the next morning, Kansas was like, "Sold out."
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see how much crimson is there. Because if it's raining, there are going to be a lot of like raincoats and ponchos and things like that. You won't be able to tell who people are cheering for.
Yeah. Yeah. Guys, if you haven't liked the video, please go and like it real quick before we move on to some questions and whatnot. But
Yeah, I'm gonna check the likes. Hold on, I'm gonna pop onto the old YouTube and check the likes. I better not be let down.
one for two. Hey, if UCF can come to OU and give us a little bit.
26 likes. What are we doing here, folks?
26. That's it. There's almost 100 of y'all in here. Just like the video. It'll take them.
All right, we're gonna pause. We're gonna pause 30 seconds for everybody to go like the video. So we'll come back on at the 45 mark on the live. Everybody go like the video.
Be a perfect time for a sponsor.
All right. And we're back. Larry Sackett has a question, and I think it's important to answer it because I think we need to make sure everybody knows Jackson is not redshirting. Like, he's not redshirting. That's what's so weird about the Arch Manning stuff.
He's not?
No. He's going to be here 3 years. You redshirt people who you need a 5th year out of.
Yeah.
So, like, when you talk about the elite guys, like, and unless they're battling back from an injury, like, you don't worry about their redshirt. Like, yes, go ahead and redshirt. Eric McCarty. He could be an absolute stud, but he's coming off a catastrophic injury in high school. Like, there's no reason, right? Like Jackson Arnold, Peyton Bowen, PJ Adebawore, like even guys like Lewis Carter, like Josiah Wagner, like those guys aren't 5-year guys. So that's what I find really interesting, JP.
Yeah.
Why is the Manning camp so worked up about Arch retaining his red shirt? Is he really a 5-year guy?
Yeah.
Like top recruit ever? And he needs a 5th year? Like this week with Quinn out, like he's the backup. So what happens, JP, if Malik goes out there, twists his ankle, or his helmet comes off during a play, or they get up 40-0? Like, do they go ahead and put Arch in?
I mean, who's behind Arch?
I think I am. I don't know. I got to check. Yeah, I think you or me are 4th string up there. I'd have to get the old arm.
Probably. Hey, we can warm the arm up. You know what I mean? We get out there ourselves. Is Jason Wellen still hurt right now?
I believe so. I don't think Arch has played in any games. He played in the spring game.
Yeah, he played in the spring game. That's better. This is a good question, Jason. I have been looking into Ollie Gordon.
No, he's good.
He's good. He's big and he's fast. I mean, he's going to be a handful for us once we get past Kansas. You know, that's about all they can do is run the ball.
All they can do is get the ball to him. It's not even the fact that they can only run it. They can only use him.
I don't know that they've faced a very good defense yet, per se. And I'm not trying to hate on Ollie. West Virginia's not bad. I'll say that though. I think their total defense may be better than ours in terms of like total yardage. Obviously, it's not scoring, but you know, he's certainly very good and formidable. So we just gotta, do what we need to do. But I trust our athletes.
If Brent Venables has a whole season to prepare for one running back, I like our chances. Because Brent Venables has known this whole time what he needs to do to stop Oklahoma State.
Yeah. Stop Ollie Gordon. Make him pass. Okay.
But that's the thing. That's what's so weird. Like, why are they so caught up on Arch redshirting?
I don't know.
Kind of weird.
Do they not think he's ready or what?
I think they don't want him to get exposed. Yeah, I mean, I don't think the Manning camp wants him to play at all this year. Because they had said before the season that they wanted him to redshirt and, get used to college football. I mean, going from 2A private school Louisiana stuff up to, the back half of Texas' schedule. It's not exactly a fun jump. But the worst part is, if Malik plays well, It's more. Let's do more hypotheticals. It's if Malik plays well, Quinn declares for the draft. Who starts next year for Texas?
That's a great question. Which is, look, this is why I've gone on Texas fans, and we'll get on to these other questions about, like, if Arch is that guy, he's starting next year. And I get it, like Malik Murphy, like he could be all world, and that just because you're a 5-star to me. But again, if we're gonna say at one point that this guy was a 1.000, like what they were saying, you're not sitting here behind a quarterback that was a 4-star if you're that guy.
I mean, we got people not wanting a Heisman candidate to come back because of our 5-star. They may not want their backup to come back, Malik. Yeah. Like, something not adding up, brother.
Yeah. Yep.
And if you're Malik and they want to give the job to Arch Manning because of politics, we all know how political Texas is.
Mm-hmm.
If they want to give it to Arch, if you're Malik, are you like, well, I'm going to go out and play for Mac Brown once Drake May's gone, or I'm going to go, maybe that's Lincoln Riley's saving grace into the Big Ten. He can get himself a big, strong quarterback to deal with them cold temps.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. Like, if you're Malik and you play well, like, this is your rehearsal. You play well these next few games, you can name your price in the portal. And Texas can move on to Arch and live that SEC life with, at that point, redshirt freshman Arch Manning leading them into the SEC.
I saw Chuck feature back Saturday or what? I've heard that, but I mean, Tyrese probably going to be back too, right, Trav?
Yeah, he'll be back. I don't know. I feel like we would be better off just throwing names in a hat and picking them out all season. My question is, Marcus Major was in visible pain with his shoulder.
Yeah.
Didn't heavily go through warm-ups. We thought it was just going to be the little kids game. And like with all the true freshmen and Sawchuk, we thought it was just going to be the kids table out there. And then Major gets out there with his brace on. And now he's out there running in between the tackles with his head down, bracing for contact. Even when he caught a ball, he's bracing for contact. Like, it seems like they really want him out there. Is he healthier now? Tawi, has he smoothed everything over with DeMarco? Like, did we see everything from Gavin? I don't know. I mean, I truly don't know. Nothing would surprise me of those three.
Hey, Baker getting torn up out here, dog. I don't know if you.
I know. Jordan Phillips just face masked him.
Come on, Jordan. That's sooner on sooner crime. What are we doing?
Man.
Come on, brother.
And they had him wrapped up for a while, too. They could have blown that play.
Yeah, they had him wrapped up for a while. It's kind of on the roughs, to be honest. What else we got here, guys? Anyone consider we get a fresh leg Barnes? Has not played all season, starting hopefully this week. I mean, is he healthy though?
I don't think he's healthy. I do think maybe later in the season, if he does get healthy, he could, he's got to get into shape. That's one thing with Sawchuk, why he wasn't really too involved early, was you got to get into shape, man. Like, you've got to get into football shape. So, getting him back late would be helpful, obviously. But, I mean, he's going to get a red shirt.
Yeah.
And now you've got Javonte, and you've got Gavin, and you got Taylor Tatum, you got Xavier Robinson, You got Caleb Hicks. You got Dalen Smothers. Like, it's really crowded in that room, and I don't know what they're going to do in 2025.
Yeah, they're going to have a lot of talent. That's for sure.
Only one football.
Yep.
Only.
I don't know if we're drunk on Sawchuk. I think he has the most explosive ability of anybody in that running back room.
I mean, I've been saying all year that Tawi, we need to be okay with him at RB1 because he's been RB1 all year. He's been the best running back. But I mean, I think people just saw flashes, and even even that game against UCF where he broke through, everybody was like, "That's what we've been waiting on. We finally saw it. We finally saw it." So that's it. It's just, it's the same thing as, Jaden Gibson. You see the physical tools, they're there, and you just know that he has upside that other players maybe don't, and you just want to see that upside realized. That's all. Emeka Egbuka, or Emeka Megwa, sorry. Emeka Egbuka is wide receiver for Ohio State that almost committed to OU. Emeka Megwa has had a catastrophic knee injury. Washington tried to medically retire him, I believe. So, I don't think he's going to play.
Yeah.
Personally. It was his birthday the other day, though. Shout out birthday boy.
I think ultimately it comes down to his explosiveness and what what we saw against Florida State at a certain point, like Florida State was so long ago, and we have to go off what we've been seeing now, but hopefully he's healthy. What he was able to do in the second half, you hope that, he starts to be able to do that in tandem with Tawi Walker more this weekend. I know somebody asked about what our stats are for the trio this weekend. I mean, I think this is reasonable. Hopefully Tawi gets a few more carries than that.
Marcus Major with that rough, what is that, 1.25 yards per carry?
Yeah. Baker just threw a dot I don't know if it was a dot. It was a decent throw to Mike Evans.
Hey, we'll take it.
They might have called offensive pass interference, though.
No.
Anyways.
Helms, yes. Helms will play. Just got to get healthy. That's it. I mean, Sexton going to come back this year. He's ready, but where do you put him? Both tackles are playing extremely well. Oh, the ricochet. Both tackles are playing extremely well. You're not going to put them where Rouse – they're playing so well, they needed help at guard, and they just took a tackle out of the tackle room and put him at guard. The reason that Caden Green is a guard right now is because Jake Sexton came back healthy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know. Offensive line's tough because it's where do you put them? It's not like wide receiver where you can rotate them in, or running back when you can rotate them in. Offensive line plays the whole game. Yeah, you put Jacob Sexton at long snapper. Well, the long snapper been cooking ever since Elzinga back there, man.
Hey, I don't know why Elzinga wasn't that guy to start with. We being honest.
Yeah, we don't have a 2025 running back committed, as far as I know, but we do have a 2026 running back committed.
Okay.
Number 5 running back in the country in 2026.
Give him some space. Give him some time.
That's a long way away, dog.
He's got it on his TV. I got it on my phone.
You see how my lights are flashing a bit? That's my projector screen. That's the game that's on.
Yeah.
Sawchuk had a 6.3 yard average, but so much of that came in the second half. Yeah. I love it. 61 of his 63 yards came in the second half, and half of that came on one play.
Yep.
which is what you need to do, obviously. I mean, there are not running backs that average 6 yards a carry with their longest run being 10 yards. Like, it's just not the case. Like, always what happens in those situations is they break a long one. But I don't know, JP, are you concerned about DG and cold weather?
No, I mean, I don't know that there's any substance to that. I mean, there could be. I haven't looked into that on if he's not played well in cold weathers. I mean, cold weather. Excuse me. I mean, when we were in West Virginia, I didn't think he played particularly bad per se. The whole team was kind of iffy, but he made plenty of plays to win the game. I think he'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think
Why would there be trash? Sorry, I cut you off. Why would there be any?
because he's from Hawaii.
Okay, and Baker's from Texas, Jalen's from Texas, Kyler's from what?
Well, I mean, Jason Bean's from Mansfield, Texas. It's warm there.
I don't.
Yeah, it's a fair question.
I get it's tropical.
It's a fair question, but he's played in a lot of college football games. I mean, for a guy that's started 45 football games, like he's gonna be fine.
Yeah, I think he'll be just fine. He'll be just fine.
He lost the only cold game, but that loss wasn't all on him. It wasn't because he couldn't hold on to the ball.
No. Trust me, it wasn't. I mean, we watched Marvin Mims have a ball slip right through his hands.
Right. Put it right on him.
Put it right on him. So we'll see. But I mean, hopefully, the boys go up there, battle through this sickness, battle through being on
their flu game
in a tough environment. I mean, it's let's do that and let's get on the bedlam, y'all. Let's come back here 8-0 next week and be ready to talk major trash to our little brother.
That's right. Let's do it.
Got anything else, Trav?
No, I don't think so. Really excited to head up to Kansas tomorrow. One of my best friends, staying with him. He's got a lot of family coming in. He's got a little baby boy, Kyler. Really excited to see him, his wife, baby boy, his folks. So really excited. On your way out, everybody, like the video. Copyright 53. Like video free. It's free. It helps us.
Help us out. Like it on the way out.
It's free. What else is free in this world? Not much.
Exactly.
Not much.
We appreciate you. Brian, we're gonna bring it back after we get to college football playoff, because I feel like we've been on a ride this year. We 7-0. We ain't done this or that this season. I'm just keeping the good vibes. So if we get to the Big 12 championship, then I will do a special this or that for that one.
Yeah, and you don't want to get dunked on for stupid takes like soup.
Hey,
salad.
Hey,
so that's why he doesn't do it.
Listen, that's not true, and I don't know how you even remembered that. Let's just we can talk about that next episode, because soup is better than salad, but it's fall too. So, all right, love y'all. Boomer.